Hey, single moms. Hey, this is Bess, the founder of Single Moms Level Up, as well as the Just Be podcast for Single Moms Summer Series. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. I like to say that. I'm coming on here as take number 4. This is just to let you know this is real life that's happening. I am a single mom of 2 young adults. Plus, I have 2 grandchildren. So, and I'm helping with helping raise my grandchildren with my daughter, and it's bringing up a whole lot of memories and feelings and emotions and all that stuff from when I was raising my kids as a single mom. So I know during the summertime, there are a lot of things that happen with single moms. One of the main things is probably just that, where are the kids going? Where are the kids going? Do you have some place for them to be, like some type of summer camp that they could be at while you're at work? You could be a stay-at-home mom, but you still have to work and you still need to have your time to get things done. That happens. Or, however you became a single mom, whether divorce or widowed, however you became a single mom. Single motherhood is something that tends to be unexpected. So a couple summers ago, I went to a summit, a single moms summit, and there was a therapist there that held a session called Mothering Yourself. And so it was called Mothering Yourself. And one of the things that she brought up was that single motherhood she said, single motherhood is a trauma response. I didn't understand that and was a little offended by it. And I was like, it was trauma. I was like, I'm not traumatized by being I was like, I'm not traumatized. I didn't think I was traumatized by being a single mother. But when I sat through it because I went there with an open mind, and I sat there and went through the session and everything. And she explained that generally, the trauma portion of being a single mom is that, first off, you didn't plan to be one. You didn't plan to be a single mother. It happened however it happened. And sometimes, the trauma is having to let go of the hopes and dreams of how you thought motherhood would be. And that we have to work through that and reparent ourselves as we're parenting our kids. So, that was one of the things that I had learned, and I, share with people that, we have to understand and be, and face that, hey, things have changed, but you could still do those things. It may take a different route. It may take a longer period of time, but you could still accomplish the things that you want to do in your life and with your life. Now it just has to go in a different way, So for me, my response to, oh crap, I'm a single mother and I had to make sure that I could take care of my kids. For me, it brought up some stuff, and I didn't want. I had my AA degree in the field of choice that I wanted to be in, which was interior design, and I had my AA degree, but I didn't. To me, in my head, and the story I was telling myself is, I don't want my kids to think I'm stupid and not smart enough to get a bachelor's degree. So I turned around and signed up to get my bachelor's degree, which I did get, and I got very good grades and graduated, top of my class. But it in the midst of all of that, I found out that it wasn't necessary for me to get a bachelor's degree in order to be considered a professional an interior designer. It was not. Interior design is not a profession that is accepted statewide, through all of the states through the United States of America. Not every state accepts it as a profession, so anybody could call themselves an interior designer. So at the time when I got my degree and everything, I was in California, and so towards the end of that of my college career, getting my bachelor's degree, which took 4 years, which it should only took 2. but that's another story. Um, uh, I found out that they did not pass the law for it to be considered a profession. I did not need to have my bachelor's degree. This is after I've taken out taken out some loans to get myself through this private school to get my bachelor's degree because I wanted to be a licensed interior designer. I'm saying all that to say that things don't always go the way that we plan them to, and a lot of times single motherhood is put in there too, but now there's other people depending on you. So sometimes that adds an extra stress or anxiety in your life, especially if you're not comfortable with change. Um, and a lot of people are not, a lot of us are not comfortable with change. And this is a life-changing event that happens when we have kids, because now there's somebody that's dependent on us, and our lives have to change in order for us to be there and provide and walk in our assignment as single moms, you know? So one of those things that I wish I had known earlier was about a flexible spending plan. This is part of our benefits package when you work at a job that provides benefits. A lot of benefit packages offer flexible spending accounts or a medical spending account. I didn't know how that worked. All I knew is that half my paycheck was being taken, was being not taken, but being um, distributed to medical for myself and my kids, and it was like half my check. And so and I was living off of the other half. So I was just like, they just taking more money out of my account. I don't see the purpose for that. And nobody, a lot of the places that I worked at did not explain how that works and what it's for. Other than, I guess they think it's self-explanatory when it says flexible spending account. That doesn't make sense, but the medical spending account, okay, it's for medical expenses, but what kind of medical expenses? What kind of situations would I need this? It was never brought into detail for that. And if you don't know the questions to ask, you'll never know. So I never asked the questions because I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know what it's for. I just knew I didn't want that extra money going out of my check. But not until recently did I understand how you can use that. But it can be used for the co-pays that we have to pay when we take our kids to the doctor or we take ourselves to the doctor. You can use that for the co-pays. And not just your medical doctor. You could use that for the dentist. You could use it for your eyeglasses, your kids' glasses. You could use it for a chiropractor. You could use it for I'm trying to think of the words. You could use it for a chiropractor. You could use it for a psychologist or a therapist. You could use it for that. So it's mental health, it's physical health, it's oral health, anything health-wise, medical health-wise, you could use it for. And all you have to do is, for mine, I have a flexible spending account. I get a debit card that I could use. And so I can swipe that card and then I just upload the receipt. Now the receipt does have to be some type of detailed receipt. It can't just say, the little ticket receipt that they give out. It can't just be that. It has to explain what it's for. So, it's not hard, it's not hard to do that. And it's one of those things where you use it or lose it. So if you get towards the end of the year, child, go to the chiropractor. Chiropractors do more than just crack your back, okay, or adjust your back. They have massage chairs. They have tension. They can pull tension out of your muscles and stuff with this. I don't even know what that machine is called, but they put these little nodes on you in these pinpoints, pressure points, and they'll release the pressure and the tension out of that. I don't know, there's one table that he puts on me where it just has these rollers that roll all down your back, all the way down to your ankles and all the way back up to your neck and stuff. And then he has a massage chair. Child, that's a treat, For me, I've got allergies and sinus issues, and always have had allergies. The sinus issues have probably started maybe probably since I got to Texas, since I started having sinus issues. Just because the pressure for me, when the pressure in the air and there's something get ready to happen in the air, like a storm or something, and the air pressure changes, that bothers my sinuses. But that it helps for that too, because when they adjust your back, everything is like connected to your spine. Um, and so it relieves that. I use a computer all the time. You can see this dark spot right here. That's where my hand sits on the desk, because I'm always using the computer. But you know that carpal tunnel is a muscle that goes, all the way down your arm and up into your shoulder. It can actually even affect your legs and everything. If you don't do like some type of exercises, rolling your fingers, pressing your fingers against the desk, going one way, press them in another way, and rolling your wrist and everything. If you don't do those type of exercises, and then do other type of exercises to keep yourself healthy in that way, you could end up with this carpal tunnel, because we're using computers all the time. But I noticed that the last time I went in for an adjustment with my chiropractor, he adjusted me, and that tension went away. It had been bothering me, and it was all the way in my elbow and bothering me, and that had went away. But these are some of the things that us as single moms, if we could share this information, that will help us to relieve that stress of, hey, my child is sick, or my child needs to go to the dentist, and I don't have the money right now to pay for that. If you're doing the flexible spending account, you'll have that money. It's already there. It's already there. They immediately give it to you the first of the year. They'll give you the whole full amount, which is usually about 2,500, 2,500, 3,000, a little over 3,000, whatever the amount is. But that money's already there, so you already have the money to use for the co-pays. Whether it's dental or medical, because kids come up with things, and you got to take them plus you got to keep their, oral hygiene and medical things up to date. Even though the doctors tell me that my child doesn't need to come in until they're whatever age, that I can skip years, I take my kids to the doctor every year to get them checked up, to get their eyes checked, to get their teeth checked and cleaned and everything. Every year I take them for that. And, paying those copays, and that comes out in the glasses. They're not cheap, Sure, the insurance companies will cover a lot. Like mine, I think it has like a budget of like 125, 150, whatever for the frames, but there's always something like one of the examinations that's not covered under medical insurance, and so you got to pay that out of pocket. So it helps you with that paying out of pocket portion of it, and you don't have to sweat that so much, or postpone it because you don't have the money. So I wish somebody would have explained to me what flexible spending account was, what a medical spending account was, and how that works. I know you would think that just the name of it, medical spending account, would make sense, but what kind of things are they covering? What are you saying? I didn't understand. I thought they were talking about big stuff like, surgery or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, how much money you gonna take out my pocket for surgery, But it covers those things. And as a matter of fact, there was a year that I did have surgery to remove a polyp, from my uterus, and that was like a $400 thing, and I had no idea how I was going to pay for that. No idea how I was going to pay for that. But if somebody had told me what a flexible spending account was, or a medical spending account, and that it covers those things, I would have done it. It made, as my work friend's brother had said, you gotta be stupid not to do it, And I was like, well, I'm not gonna call myself stupid, but I didn't know. I didn't know what it was used for and how it's used. And you can also use it for your medications. So the portion of the medications that your dentist, that's not your dentist, but your medical doesn't cover, you can use it to cover those things. Over the counter medications, you could use it for that. I don't think you could actually use it for the prescriptions, because there's a prescription thing, but I'd have to look into that. But over-the-counter stuff like allergy medicine, bandages, things of that sort, you can use it for those things because those are considered medical supplies. So I know that one of my store manager that I had was able to use it to buy his CPAP machine. That's big, because it's a few $1,000s that you got to spend throughout the year, and it's use it or lose it. So you get towards the end, you start thinking about some things that you really wanted to get, and that you can use that for, and there you go. You get a debit card. I think it's a Visa debit card is what it is, and you could use that, and so you could swipe it or tap it with the chip, and do that, and you just upload the receipt that says what it is that you purchased, and they'll approve it. And if there's something on there that they don't approve, they let you know, and then you just pay that out of pocket. I think one time I had that, and it was like $8. What? $8 that I had to pay. So I had some dental work done today, so my lip is still swollen right here, and I think my cheek is a little bit still swollen from the dental work that I had done. I think one of their tools like caught my lip because it now that it's wearing off, it hurts really bad. So I think they like caught one of their tools in there, and I guess I'm gonna have to suffer that that lip being swollen right there. But I wanted to come on. I'm glad you guys are joined Single Moms summer podcast, the Just Be podcast. And this is me just being me. Um, Sometimes that's hard to do when you have kids, hard to do when you have small kids. I got grandkids in the house, so it's me reliving my time when I was a single mom, and some of the ups and downs and hills and valleys, and sometimes stressful situations and anxiety situations that come up during single motherhood. But I really believe that single motherhood comes to those of us that are single moms for a reason. It comes to pull out some of the things that are in us that were there all along that we didn't even know we had. The CEO skills that we tend to pick up being a single mom. We get these decision making skills that we get being a single mother, because it's us making the decision. There's really oftentimes not a lot of people that we can bounce ideas off of in the midst of a situation. We have to make those decisions. We have to make those connections with other people that surround us that could also be single moms. And that's what I encourage single moms to do, because I hadn't done it either. I knew other people that were single moms, but when I really sat down and thought about it, I was like, I know a lot of people that are single moms that I could have reached out to during a time that I was feeling frustrated and like I didn't feel like I didn't have anybody to talk to. There's other single moms that I could reach out to that have kids that were single moms way before I was, and they could have given me some advice. Back in 2021, I did just that. I went back home to California where I was born and raised, and one of my friends that was a single mom, her son is like in his 30s now, and she it was my birthday weekend, so she had set up for us to have a brunch with a group of women that we had been talking and sharing with each other during COVID. And so we doing that virtually through Zoom, and we had done that. And so we have been talking with each other, and some people couldn't come. So it ended up being 4 of us. So it was 4 of us. And what was interesting, that all 4 of us were single moms at some point in time. One of the single moms, she was a single mom for a very long time, and then she got married. And that's why I'm saying the rest of us are still single moms, but their children are much older. Mine were the youngest out of the bunch. And I think I'm the first grandmother out of us 4. But I have another friend that was a single mom, and she like had her daughter's like almost 40. Almost 40. I think she's in her late 30s. And so she was a single mom for a long period of time, but she's married and has been married for a very long time. But these are people I could have reached out to and should have reached out to, because they've had that experience. I think my thing was, and I think what tends to happen with single moms is that some way, somehow, the thought comes to our minds that we are by ourselves. When you hear single, you think one. But no, there's other people to support you. There's a support group around you, more so than you may think that there is. But those people, like the daycare providers, I had uh 2, 3 times that I had an in-home daycare providers. They were like friends and they were family, people that I knew. And then I had the daycare that was outside of these people that I went to when I didn't have in-home daycare providers. So don't underestimate those in-home daycare providers, because first off, they have less kids. They can pay more attention to your children. They take really good care of them. They tend to become family and friends afterwards, or maybe they are family and friends and you decide to use them, but don't underestimate those people. They are a very good support to you. The daycare centers, they're a good support to you as well. I think it's a little bit more stressful with the daycares because they have all these events and whatever else go on that they would like for you to participate in and all that. But if you see it from a different point of view, because those events are there, if you attend some of those events, you can meet other parents who could become friends of yours, or somebody you could talk to. You may meet other single moms. You never know, but be open to that so that you don't feel that you're all by yourself, because there's other people and you have an opportunity to meet some new people that could be your next best friend. Could be your next best friend, could become part of your support system, your village. That can happen at any point in time, as well as church was a good place for me, because that had provided a lot of support, because a lot of churches provide daycare during church service, but they also have a lot of times a youth department. So if you participate in that, your kids will have stuff to do. They'll have friends. They'll meet people. You'll meet people. And as you volunteer with that, as well as, and I'm telling you all this not to so that you know you're not alone. You're not alone, single mom. There are places where you can find some support. And there are places that you may not be looking or overlooking, because that could also happen when you have your children in extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities, youth sports and things of that sort, and gymnastics. And usually in the summertime, I would put my kids in these the community activities that happen within the community, so that it's close to the house. I'm not driving all over the place. It's close to the house, usually at one of the parks. And we go over there for whatever, Saturday morning or whatever, whenever these activities happen, and my kids would have an opportunity to participate in stuff like that. So you have support. There's support everywhere. Be open-minded, be willing to be friendly with people so you can make some friends, talk with people. The moms, because at a lot of these sports things, the moms hang with the moms, and the men hang with the men. You know what I'm saying? There's some married couples that will married couples, but that tends to just happen. The single parents go over this way, or the moms go this way and the dads go that way. And then you have conversations with these people, and you become friends, or you have somebody you can bounce some things off of, and it's not just you by yourself. Being a single mom is a hard and challenging thing to do, but it's so worth it when you see your kids prosper, you see them grow, you see them mature, you see them, all these things that they do in their lives, because you were there as a support for them as well. But just know this: if you're not okay, your kids are not okay. If you're stressed out, they're feeling you're stressed out too. But we're also teaching them how to take care of themselves or not take care of themselves, because if they don't see us taking care of ourselves, they will not learn to take care of themselves. I didn't realize it, but I had taught my kids that. I didn't think I did a good job with that, but as most parents, we always don't think we do good jobs. There's something we think we could have done better. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and let you guys know, single moms, you're not by yourself. That's why, I feel God pushed it in my spirit to have this podcast, to start a podcast saying just be. Sometimes as single moms, we don't have an opportunity, or don't take the opportunity to just be us. Not single mom, not whoever, but just be. Just be who we are. And before we were moms, we were women. We were ourselves. And we have that opportunity to just be us. So, and not always just only give, but remember to give to yourself too, and take care of you, take care of yourself, so that you can take better care of your kids. Sometimes that you might have to push something aside, and it may not be as big as you want it to be, but just don't forget yourself as well. That's too cute. So I'm on the side of the road. I'm about to go home, and people are out walking and everything because it's summer, and the sun stays up later. But anyway, so I'm gonna go. Be encouraged, single mom, and come back next week. Subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody, do all the things, and I will talk to you later. Much love. Hashtag single moms level up. Bye.